Hey guys, Rob Shoecraft here with Restore Fitness. Today, this is a really good position I'm in. I didn't think through my camera. I never do. You know that. Today what I want to do, and for the next couple videos perhaps, I've done a lot of product reviews, a lot of the equipment. I'm a personal trainer, and I work out myself. I'm really into it. I'm a geek, and I've done a lot of equipment reviews for the equipment that I use, and a lot of the reviews I've done have been they've been my best shot, but they've been equipment that I've used for a matter of weeks, perhaps months, maybe a year for some things or more. But for most things, it's just enough to get a really good impression on how it works. But I really think there's a lot of value in doing a review after having used something for a year, especially the way I use it. And by that I just mean I train up to 4 people at once, 4 times a day during the week. And I got a lot of people doing resistance training using barbells, which is what we're going to talk about today. So needless to say, I beat the crap out of a lot of this stuff. So it's got a lot of this stuff has got a pretty good test going for it. So I'm going to go through 3 barbells today that I have reviewed before. I'm not going to talk too much about their features. Basically what I'm going to try not to do is talk about things I've already talked about. I want to try to talk about the things that have either wowed me or disappointed me or whatever in between over the last at least a year of usage. So let's go ahead and start with this trap bar here, this hex bar by Black Widow. Again, I'm going to do my best not to talk about things I've already discussed. Okay, first let's talk about what I like about it. It's very well made. Other than some scuff marks, which you're going to see as a common trend for a lot of this stuff. Everything's gotten scuff marks, and that's putting it lightly. Other than some scuff marks, the thing is virtually untouched. Very well made. It's been used a lot. Let's talk about what I don't like about it. Okay, a lot of the stuff that I don't like about it isn't so much against the bar itself. It's more like I should have gotten a different bar for the usage. So I like teaching a lot of people how to deadlift using trap bars, and I won't get into the detail. I don't always do it that way, it just depends on the person. But trap bar deadlifts are a great way to work it in, whether you want more variety or you want, whatever. I told you I wouldn't talk about why. That's not what this video is about. But this is not the best bar for trap bar deadlifts. Are they possible? Absolutely. I've done them a million times with this bar. I've had a lot of people do. I bet this thing has seen 2,000 deadlift reps in the last year. I'm just totally guessing, but it's probably not far-fetched. What I don't like about it, so a lot of hex bars, if you're familiar with hex bars, a lot of them have handles that come up a couple inches, okay? And they're also a lot bigger, a lot wider. So I'm gonna talk about a couple things. I have a lot of people with limited mobility. And limited mobility that makes doing a deadlift like this difficult. So I'll have to jack this thing up sometimes on weights to get the handle in a place that's comfortable for them. Now again, nothing against the bar. This bar is the way it is. I should have thought that through. But trap bars a lot of times are more popular for doing deadlifts for people with mobility restrictions or just, like I said, variety, because those raised bars really allow you to do the movement a little easier. We'll just leave it at that. I won't talk about the technical details, but I wish that I had a bar for most people that comes up, that was raised. Now you could say like you comparatively to a typical trap bar, you're kind of doing deficit depths. You're like doing 2 inches down below where you normally would with a typical trap bar. This is more like a trap bar from a barbell level. In fact, that's exactly what it is. It sits up the exact same height, all dictated by the plates that you're using. So I like having it. What I love having it for is carries. This thing is fantastic. I don't have heavy dumbbells yet, so I use this a lot for carrying and for shrugs. It's fantastic for that. It's perfect. I also mentioned that I don't like it. I don't like that I can't do split squat or lunge variations with it. You can see right here. I mean, it sticks on you. So I wish I went with a different model. I also would have maybe considered, I'd also consider maybe a rackable model next time that I could rack. Now I found a couple hacks to do this, but this is a really neat press variation, basically a trap bar neutral press. You can't do that with this. Well, I can, but I gotta do some stuff to make it work. So, great for carries, great for shrugs, fine for deadlifts. Nothing's wrong with it. It's also kind of tricky to find your center, your balance. A lot of people struggle with their grip, so even if they're using straps, I put this duct tape on it just to kind of mark the center a little bit. But it just gets funny. It just gets funny for people. It's not as easy as a regular trap bar. I should have just left it at that. Very well made though. I'm not getting rid of it. I'll just probably get another one. Next up, I'm going to talk about my power bar. This is a Rogue Ohio power bar. That's the one. Love it. I don't really have much bad to say about it. This thing, it's zinc, it's black. You hear a lot about the black barbells, zinc barbells, like having like a patina finish after a while, especially depending on the conditions of the gym. I do not have ideal conditions in here, and it's done pretty darn well. Now, I'm not saying maybe a year from now it will be green. It could be. I'm not really going to care that much, but just let it be known that after a year of not the most forgiving humidity and environmental conditions, it still kind of looks the same as it did when I got it. Let's talk about the knurl for a second. The checker part. This thing, I bought this because of the real deep knurl. It's got deep knurl here for squats, which is great in the center. I haven't noticed much of a difference in that changing. It still feels like a nice gentle cheese grater on your skin. Just enough to really grip in, even if you're doing like a hook grip or something. It doesn't feel good, but it doesn't feel bad, and you hang on to the bar, and that's what's important. A little bit of wear and tear on the sleeves, but really not bad. Not bad at all. Still spinning quite well. The bearings seem to be solid. Or maybe they aren't bearings. I actually don't know. But whatever makes them spin, it's still spinning. Another thing I like about it, I think in the first video I talked about rack pulls. I do a lot of rack pulls or stuff out of the from the safety pins, and I slam it quite a bit. As you can see, it doesn't look too bad, does it? This thing's made very, very well. It's not overhyped. It's a fantastic bar. Nothing bad to say about it. Love it. Packed. All right, talking about one more bar here. This is my SS yoke, Elite FTS SS yoke bar. Okay. I do have a couple negative things to say about this, but overwhelmingly positive things. It's lived up to the expectations and the $400 price tag. I think that's about what I paid for it. Very, very solid. I've taken it through I've tried just about every possible lift variation you could do with this, and it really does make things a lot more interesting. All the way from, obviously, the squats. Zercher squats with this are amazing. I love Zercher squats with this. Carries, front squats. I'm about to do some front squats today with this. Works so well. Deadlift variations, even presses. It's a really cool bar. It's a fantastic bar. Wear and tear, let's just talk about that. So this has like a nice shiny slick coating on it, but it has been stripped off pretty nastily, if that's a word. Now, I don't want Dave Tate coming at me, telling me I'm not taking good care of my stuff, even though he'd be totally legitimate. That'd be a total legitimate argument. I don't, I beat stuff up, and I use cheap weights, and that's kind of what you get. You know, if you're using cheap used weights that you bought off of Craigslist or Facebook, which I did, even though I refinished them, they're very, very nasty on the inside. So they will scratch up the surface absolutely without a doubt. It's just kind of up to you. I plan on refinishing it. I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. I'll talk about that in another video, how to do that. And then you got on the inside here, this is where it usually sits in the J-hooks in the rack. This is real beat up too. That's from slamming down. I tell all my clients, you know, when they're squatting, a lot of times they try to like sneak it in and like watch where they're going and put it down on this side and then put it down on this side. I'm like, no, 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 don't do that. Slam it in and drop the thing. Finish the set, be safe, and be an animal, right? So I encourage my clients to beat the crap out of this thing, and they do. So thanks, folks. But you got wear and tear because of that. The handles are nice. These are screw in, screw out, depending on the lift you're doing. They're the same as when I got them out of the box. No problem with the screwing action. What else? There was another thing. Oh yeah, the collars. You know what, let me talk about the collars. I got these are Ironlab collars. I've had these for over a year. These things are bulletproof. They've been thrown across the room. Don't ask me why, but they've withstood some serious damage, potential anyway. They work the same as they always have. A couple little nicks in them, but no problem, man. I mean, they are honestly bulletproof. Super, I think it's like heavy nylon material. It's really strong. It does tend to slip a little bit on my specialized bars. It does good enough to do squats and things like that. However, if anybody's doing carries and they make a turn, it's not quite snug enough. The plates will sometimes spin. So usually if we're doing carries, I'll help them turn around, or we'll just do forward and backward or some other variation. So you got to kind of consider that. If you're going to do this, you're doing a lot of real dynamic things with it. You're going to want to probably get some clamps, collars with a better clamp. One other thing, this is going to be really hard to show, but in the back here, it feels like there's a little bit of separation in the foam. Not enough to cause any sort of discomfort, but I could feel there's like a slip through here. You kind of pry it open a little bit. Like I said, it hasn't gotten any worse. I think it might have come like this, to be honest with you. I just didn't notice it until a little later after I already shot the review. But it's there. Because it's not there. It's not anywhere here, but you have a little separation here of the foam. As far as I can tell, it's not really making much of a difference, but just know if that's something you're into or something that might deter you from getting it, you know. Another thing, when I have a lot of weight on this, obviously that pressure is being put on these arms here. Let's see if I can get it to pop. I can. Okay, that's good. That's not a bad thing. When I have weight, let's say I put like, it usually happens like over 200 pounds. One of the arms will pop out just a little bit, and it just pops right back in. I don't know why it does that. I have no idea. It's been doing that since the beginning, and it's on the same side that has this weird separation. Again, it doesn't really bother me, except for the fact that this thing was 400 bucks, and I'd love for it to just, you know, be as solid as it is 400 years from now, but it's not. But functionally speaking, I have no problem with it. It's not stopped me from doing a thing. I don't have any regrets of buying it, but just know that this one does that. That's all I got for you guys. 13 minutes and 47 seconds for 4 reviews. That's actually pretty darn good for me. Rob Shoecraft, 3 Storm Fitness. Like I said, I got some more equipment in here. I'm gonna do the same thing. If you like it, stay tuned. If you want to know, you know, how my stuff's been holding up after a year of heavy usage, I got some more product reviews. Subscribe to my videos if you haven't already. 3 Storm Fitness, Rob Shoecraft, other things that I normally say. We're done. Have a good day.